An orange fountain can only mean one thing. It's time for America's greatest homecoming. From the origins of Pistol Pete to well-known homecoming events, we've got everything you need to know for this weekend on Pete's Corner. Hi everyone, and welcome to Pete's Corner. My name is Savannah Gocher and I'll be walking you through the steps of America's greatest homecoming. But first, let's see how it all got started. So how did America's greatest homecoming become what it is today? Well, in 1913, a few OSU students organized the first Harvest Carnival to go along with the farming class. There was a small parade, a carnival, and of course, football. This Harvest Carnival quickly grew into a huge event at Oklahoma State, and it paved the way for the first official homecoming in 1920. The first homecoming hosted only 100 alumni, but in 1930, just 10 short years later, Oklahoma State hosted 17,000 alumni and held the first homecoming parade. Homecoming took a 2-year break during World War II, but when it returned in 1946, a record number of 20,000 alumni attended a parade of 50 floats and 6 bands. Slowly but surely, pumped house decks began to take over. The Greek houses spent countless hours over 8 weeks and one all-night pomp to create these decks, which are some of the greatest homecoming decorations of all time. Since the 80s, homecoming has been steadily rising, now involving a chili cook-off, flag football tournament, and a sign decoration. Even Theta Pond gets a makeover. Now, Oklahoma State hosts upwards of 80,000 alumni every year to see house decks at walkarounds, the Sea of Orange Parade, and of course, the football game. America's greatest homecoming has a long history and a bright future. The parades and decks on University Street are some awesome aspects of OSU homecoming. However, Dylan Ford's going to walk us through some not so typical festivities.
It's undeniable that when you think of OSU homecoming, the things that come to mind are the football game, the parade, the decks, and just the overall energy. People come from all over to enjoy this exciting cowboy tradition. Enjoy events like the Delta Ta Delta Carnival if you're interested in a family-friendly environment on University Avenue.
This is our 17th year doing this, and it really is an important tradition. Our alumni really like to see this event go on. Yeah, so there are a few crowd favorites that people want to bring back, like the Junker car and the camels. The kids really like the camels.
The Delt Carnival is not the only way to improve your homecoming experience. You can enjoy homecoming and hoops after a walk around at Gallagher-Iba. Joe State Homecoming Tailgate starts at 4 on Friday across the street from Eskimo Joe's, and grab some barbecue at the Willard Hall patio behind Theta Pond. The picnic is hosted by the College of Education, Health, and Aviation and is from 5 to 7 on Friday evening.
Greek Life sure puts in a lot of work for homecoming, but they're not the only students willing to contribute to this sacred cowboy tradition. Almost every residence hall on campus participates in a competition called Orange Reflection, in which students creatively decorate the outside of their res halls with orange lights and other fun features. Homecoming Court also judges these competitions during walkaround.
Well, I believe that Res Life should get more attention during homecoming because we are connected with Pomping and Orange Reflection because we're doing all that at the same time. And I believe that more people should come and enjoy things like that for Res Life instead of paying more attention to Greek Life because they have walk around and that's kind of the main homecoming theme. But I believe Orange Reflection is a great way for students to get out of their rooms and to experience homecoming traditions and to be able to contribute to new traditions that homecoming has. And with that, I just hope we win Orange Reflection.
Thanks, Dylan. That sounds like a great way to spend time with family and friends. Now, in addition to OSU's greatest homecoming, we're also going to take a look at the 60th anniversary of our guy, Pistol Pete. Hallie Barn will be walking us through the mission of the mascot and the figure he portrays.
Since 1958, Oklahoma State's infamous mascot has graced variations of logos, hallways of campus buildings, and of course, athletic facilities. As we reach Pistol Pete's 60th anniversary, the story of the mascot goes beyond the orange hat and loud pistol. A cowboy himself, Frank Eaton served as the inspiration for Pistol Pete because he represented the Old West and spirit of Oklahoma. In the late 1800s, Frank Eaton witnessed the murder of his father and made it his mission to avenge his death. At age 15, Eaton was given the name Pistol Pete after he outshot United States cavalrymen in a contest at Fort Gibson. Pistol Pete was officially adopted as the university's mascot in 1958, and in 1984, Pistol Pete was registered as the school's licensed symbol. Despite his large presence at the school, many students do not know the history of how Pistol Pete came to be.
Frank Eaton was an actual guy and a federal marshal, and the fact that our mascot is kind of built off of and portrayed from a real human is kind of unique.
Despite what some may think, Pistol Pete does more than shoot a gun in Boone Pickens Stadium. In fact, Oklahoma State's mascot makes approximately 600 appearances every year. Many of these appearances include weddings, birthday parties, games, banquets, and even home visits.
As hard of days as, hospital visits or funerals, or happy days like birthday parties and weddings, no matter what kind of life that person is going through at the time, the fact that I get to portray something that brings somebody so much joy whenever Pete walks into the room is so special, and that's the really cool part about being Pete.
Pistol Pete is more than a 45-pound head in a pair of cowboy boots. To many, he brings great joy and is a legacy of a real man's true strength. Pistol Pete is to be celebrated during the week of homecoming for his 60th anniversary. With many former Petes in town for an alumni reunion, the love for Oklahoma State and its pistol-drawing cowboy remain timeless. For Pete's Corner, I'm Hallie Barham.
Thanks, Hallie. It's crazy to think that Pistol Pete has been around for 60 years. Now we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to quiz your knowledge on OSU homecoming.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars. Like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
Love these things. Hilarious. I'm sorry, force of habit.
As long as you are you, it's Miller time.
Hi, it's Sam at Louis Grill and Bar, here to introduce our new menu items from south of the border. Come try our new poblano chicken tacos, or the ever-popular sriracha shrimp tacos. At Louis, where you come for the food, but stay for the fun.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner. For this homecoming, we have OSU's own international students creating their own float for this year. Dewan Kim has more.
For more than decades, OSU international students have been an access for the diversity, not only to the school, but also Stillwater residents. In this fall semester, OSU has 1,697 international students from 88 countries. Although the number of international students is decreasing right now, still, Stillwater is another home for international students. In OSU, International Student and Scholars Office mainly functions all international affairs in the school. For Tim Hoff, he's working for ISS office nearly 20 years. He says he still remembers 10 years ago homecoming was.
2 wooden beams, and there would be about 6 to 10 Japanese kids carrying it all the way the length of the parade, and they would twist it around, twirl it around, so it's a little bit of flair similar to some of the festivals that they had back in Japan.
At homecoming parade, they are marching with traditional clothes and national flags. For Chung-do, this year his 4th and last homecoming.
We will have a vehicle in front, and on top of it we'll have Mr. and Mrs. International 2018. They are the winner of our pageant last year. And then behind this vehicle we'll have around 40 to 50 international students.
Although considerable travel fees and distance, OSU international alumni are visiting Stillwater with a full of good memories.
OSU gives them the opportunity to develop those skills and to learn how to do things, not just inside the classroom, but apply their knowledge outside the classroom.
You and me, it doesn't matter who we are both, OSU.
Someone may say Stillwater is a boring town, but for someone, Stillwater remains valuable experience and a second home.
True homecoming, regardless of where you're from. If you've been here, this is your home.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Don Kim.
Thanks, Dewan, and don't forget to check out this year's homecoming parade, rain or shine, Saturday morning. Now, it's well known that the floats and the decks here at Oklahoma State are well above all the others. But how did a simple decoration turn into a huge phenomenon? Joe Tomko has the scoop.
OSU's homecoming is special for many reasons, one of which is decoration. From pomping to deck building, students spend dozens of hours preparing for their homecoming celebration by creating huge pieces of art to celebrate their university. On top of putting together floats for the big parade, students at OSU will also spend a lot of time on house decorations.
One thing that we do that's very unique here at Oklahoma State is we build these huge house decorations. So a lot of other schools will actually do more of a parade float like our residential halls, but very few actually do a house decoration.
OSU's homecoming has been going for the better part of a century. It got started in the 1920s with the Harvest Carnival and has evolved over time.
Greek pairings used to pair together, and even in the 80s they paired together and they would make they would make parade floats. And then it kind of morphed into doing something a little bit bigger, and that is how we've gotten the house decorations that we have today.
It all starts with a pencil, some tissue paper, some chicken wire. Seems pretty simple, but try doing it a few hundred times. Homecoming decoration is a major collaborative effort, bringing together students from all over the OSU campus, not just Greek houses.
I think that one of the biggest things is the decks, and just it's Greek life and non-Greek life. I mean, the residential halls do different decorations. They participate in the parades. They'll decorate the dorms.
At OSU, we put in a lot of time and effort to make sure our school pride shines through. Over time, we've brought our decorations to a level above all other universities.
I think other campuses have pomping. I know Arkansas, I know you do a little bit of pomping, but just like the scale that it's become and kind of like over the years how it's progressed to this.
OSU students are hard at work making sure this year's homecoming will be just as great, if not greater, than the last. For Pete's Corner, I'm Joe Tomko.
Thanks, Joe. I can't wait for everyone to see all the incredible decorations. But how do these decorations come about? Connor Whalen's here to talk about pomping and how it's become a huge obsession with the Greek community.
I'm here in the Kappa Sigma house with Kirsten, and along to go with our homecoming theme for the show this week, we're going to learn how to pomp, and she's going to help teach us. So,
okay, so each pomp has a different color combination, and they're represented by symbols. So for this one, it's an arrow, and it's just an orange. So you use your pencil and the tissue paper, and you just put it right there where it matches up. And then the next one is a dark circle, and that is a 3-color combination, and that is a yellow, an orange, and a brown. So then you put that right next to that, and you just keep going and following the map all the way straight across.
Seems easy enough.
Yep.
Do you want me to help you out?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Alrighty, thank you so much, Kirsten, for helping show us what goes into pomping, which now I guess I have a better realization of all the dedication and work and strategic eye it takes to get through all this on these big decks outside out here. So thank you so much again, and we enjoy having you here. Pete's Corner, I'm Connor Whalen. Thank you.
Thanks, Connor. I think I'll stick to admiring the decks when they're completely finished. Now, from Greek Road to Library Lawn, there are many different timeless traditions here on OSU's campus for homecoming. But Mitch Moreland is going to take a look at a relatively new tradition.
When October rolls around on the campus of OSU, it can only mean two things. Football season is in full swing, and homecoming is right around the corner. This week and this weekend, tens of thousands of people will flock to Stillwater for America's greatest homecoming and for a sold-out homecoming football game against Texas. Before the football game kicks off, Coach Gundy and his team will go through a classic game day tradition, the walk. Only this week, the walk will be extra special. On Wednesday evening of homecoming week, Cowboy fans and alumni take to the asphalt of Hester Street and paint it orange for the football team. From encouraging messages to creative drawings, tons of fans and families come out and participate in this relatively new tradition. Homecoming executive Carson Tabor says the walk and the street painting started in 2002. Since then, it has become its own new tradition.
And they would walk down Hester Street during the during the day, an hour or two before the games. And so that's kind of around the time when Hester Street painting started, because everybody was able to paint those messages, go Pokes, beat whoever they were playing. And then so those players would see it as they were walking down Hester Street before the game.
At 5 p.m. this Saturday, the band, cheerleaders, and fans will line Hester Street as the football team makes their way down Pickens Stadium. This week, they won't only be looking for their favorite player or for Coach Gundy's hair, but also for all the masterpieces that have been added to the ground. Hester Street has been a hotspot for construction over the past 2 years. With the widening of the road itself and the completion of 2 new buildings along the street, this is for sure to be the prettiest walk and the prettiest painting OSU has ever seen. This year, not only will the painted street add to the walk, but also the completion of a brand new business building. After its completion in January, the building has become the pinnacle of Hester Street and the walk itself. As the team approaches the stadium at the end of Hester Street, another new building adds to the walk's beauty. The Endeavor Lab that was completed this fall marked for the perfect ending to this Cowboy football and OSU homecoming tradition. So next time you're in town for America's greatest homecoming, make your way down to Hester Street on Wednesdays to participate in this tradition. With these loyal and true fans, it is for sure to be around a long time. For Pete's Corner, I'm Mitchell Moreland.
Now, since the population tends to double every year around homecoming, we recommend getting to Hester Street around 4:30. Now, the new business building is open and ready to go for this year's homecoming, and we have the inside scoop from Tanner DeLeon, who's going to give us a look at what they're doing for the celebration.
With the number of students majoring in business here at OSU increasing, it was time for an upgrade on the business building. With the new building being finished in January of 2018, this is the first time since 1966 that a new business building has been built. On its first year of being open, students have been given better opportunities with larger classrooms, 8 faculty student breakout rooms and study areas, all helping the foundation for stronger programs and better recruitment for top faculty and students across the world. This is the first homecoming in the new building, as they have done a great job making it very presentable for the alumni they are expecting to have so they can see it for the first time. They have put in a great amount of work to prepare for homecoming, and it has shown.
We're really excited to get to decorate it for homecoming this year. One of the biggest things we do during homecoming is the building competition between the other schools. So we put probably about 50 volunteers and members of Business Student Council come help on Sunday to hang all this stuff up. We did letters on the walls and balloon arches and photo backdrops, and it looks amazing.
Students and faculty have gotten into the spirit of Halloween and homecoming, decorating the building for the last few weeks. They are excited about the alumni seeing the building for the first time this weekend, so they have gone all out to make the building as special as possible.
It's really exciting because on Saturday we have expecting 1,000 business alumni to come and check it out, so who haven't seen the building before. So it's going to be really a sight to see their faces, and a lot of investors are going to get to see the building for the first time that they helped put money into and work into. It's really incredible to get to be a part of something so amazing and really help make Oklahoma State look amazing. So.
Business school students have put in countless hours to make sure that their new building looks amazing for homecoming.
So homecoming this year as a sophomore has really been an awesome experience. I got the opportunity through Business Student Council to come and help decorate the business building, to help support and welcome the alumni, and I got to paint on the walls, go Pokes, and it was really just an awesome experience that I'm excited for freshmen to experience for their first time.
Homecoming at OSU is the best time of year, and the business school students have done a great job to welcome back the alumni. For Pete's Corner, I'm Tanner DeLeon.
Thanks, Tanner. I hope the alumni love the new business building. This year, we're also unveiling a brand new memorial in honor of tragedy and miracles, and plus a new way to give back. We'll have all of this when we return.
It's hard to imagine my life before her, or a day without her. So much of what I take for granted simply wouldn't exist. She is the force that holds our life together. She is my everything, the center of my universe, from Forevermark. The diamond, the promise. Available at Lewis Jewelers.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner. It's easy to get caught up in the craziness of homecoming, but some will be taking a moment of silence. Cassie Gann is here to remind us of the times of heartache and the overcoming of tragedy that Stillwater has endured in past homecoming seasons.
We begin tonight at Oklahoma State University, where today was homecoming day. There was, of course, a
Stillwater,
parade.
Oklahoma is not only a community in pain,
Down to that deadly homecoming parade crash in Oklahoma. The driver is
that
now
deadly
being
car
held
crash at
on
Oklahoma
$1
State
million.
University's homecoming. ABC's Ryan Owens is in Stillwater, Oklahoma with the latest. Good morning,
First,
Ryan.
you hear the driver hit a police motorcycle, then you see the gray car plow into a crowd of screaming parade goers.
Adacia Chambers, she's a 25-year-old
Driver
woman.
now being held on second-degree murder
killing
charges.
4, including a 2-year-old child.
Dozens more injured, some critically.
Tragedy struck the community of Stillwater 3 years ago, leaving a stain on a beautiful homecoming morning, which will now be memorialized at the corner of Main Street in Hall of Fame.
It's going to be a beautiful spot that will draw attention of people away from the corner where all of the mementos are. And it will tell the story for years to come as to what happened there, how the town came together. So in my opinion, I think it will give that corner a positive reflection.
The memorial will feature 4 granite tiles for those lives that were lost, and a 5th tile that will explain what happened on that tragic morning.
Survivors like Kelly Murphy will be able to come and visit the Stillwater Strong Memorial once it's revealed this Friday at 5 p.m. just before the homecoming walkaround.
And those 4 granite tiles, although we're trying to capture the essence of a person's life in 50 words, it's impossible to do that, really. But I think they'll be appreciative of the gesture.
Although the memorial is standing for those lives lost and injured, Annette Turner believes it's for the entire community of Stillwater.
That memorial over there is not just for the survivors, and it's not just for the victims who lost loved ones. It's for Stillwater, because there's so much healing and collateral damage that was done.
Despite the tragedy, the community of Stillwater came together and they became Stillwater Strong, Loyal, and True. For Pete's Corner, I'm Cassie Gann.
From an intersection that once brought trauma, now brings remembrance and hope for all that are involved. Next, we're going to take a look at how OSU has changed lives in a different way. Harvest Carnival is something that Jason Colicchio is going to take a look at for us and show that we can give back throughout this homecoming experience.
Another year of America's greatest homecoming is here, and with it is a tradition as beloved as it is old, the Harvest Carnival. The carnival began in 1913, making this the longest-standing homecoming event held by OSU. The OSU Alumni Association hosts the Harvest Carnival and leaves it to the Oklahoma State student body, including Greek houses, residential halls, and student organizations to run the booths, making sure the carnival is enjoyable for all in the Stillwater community. And nothing says enjoyable like pasting the logo of the team the Cowboys are playing homecoming weekend onto rolls of toilet paper and having kids put them in the garbage can. With over 50-plus booths all sporting different games, cool prizes, and plenty of candy to go around, it's clear that after a century, the carnival still focuses on what it was created for, the kids. Rachel Reams, one of the student directors for Homecoming, volunteered to work a booth for her sorority house and says how much she enjoys working with the children.
I love kids. I used to be a nanny, and so I love playing with kids, and so I wanted to make a game that I knew kids would really love, and I know a lot of kids love to dance, and so I made our game around that.
The Harvest Carnival has plenty of food, fun, and games for the whole family, but there's something bigger going on that impacts the whole community. Admission into the Harvest Carnival is 1 canned good per person, and additional canned goods are always encouraged. According to the Junior Service League of Stillwater's Harvest 2 food drive, last year's carnival brought in roughly 50,000 pounds of food, which was then donated to those in need. Caleb Eister, a member of the Homecoming executive team and one of the students in charge of the carnival, loves how the community comes together to both have fun and make sure that not as fortunate people are well fed.
Last year, I believe that they collected around 50,000 pounds of food total. Of that 50,000 pounds of food, what we do through Homecoming is a third of that.
This is the 30th year of the Harvest 2 food drive, and they are looking to double the amount of food they collected last year. For Pete's Corner, I'm Jason Colicchio.
Thanks, Jason. I love the fact that OSU's Homecoming isn't just a big production, but also a way to give back to our incredible community in Stillwater. Now, with 100,000 extra people here in town for Homecoming, we're going to take a look at how the OSU police will keep us safe. Smokey Solis has more.
America's Greatest Homecoming is truly a beautiful time of year. So much work goes into 1 week of the OSU school year. This celebration brings over 100,000 extra people to the city of Stillwater. With such a large influx of people, the first responders have to do some extra preparation for this long week. The Oklahoma State University Police Department was the first accredited police department in Oklahoma. They spend much of their time every year training to better serve the OSU community. Chief Leon Jones explains how important the preparation is for not only this homecoming week, but for their job overall.
Well, the preparation for homecoming has been going on now for like 3 months, just making sure we get all the logistics in place. It really is like 3 long days of hard work with the extra people coming to town. Thursday, we kind of start, ramping up, watching all the property around the library. And then Friday, of course, the walk around and homecoming and hoops. And then Saturday, the parade. And then with this being a late kickoff, it'll be a long day.
The Oklahoma State University Police Department is in charge of patrolling 2,600 acres. During homecoming, this increases. They rely on help from other agencies to make sure that their response time remains at an all-time low.
That relationship is very important. With the multi-jurisdictional agreement that we have with other agencies, it allows us to bring in the resources that we need to adequately staff an event such as this. The OSU Homecoming Parade is such a national event and is brought here to Stillwater. There's no way that just the OSU Police Department could handle this without them.
So who are you going to call when you're feeling unsafe? The OSU Police Department. For Pete's Corner, I'm Smokey Solis.
Thanks, Smokey. It's great to know that our OSU PD is going to keep us safe during this year's homecoming. And thank you for watching Pete's Corner. We look forward to seeing you guys at America's Greatest Homecoming and to support the Cowboys. For Pete's Corner, I'm Savannah Gocher.